In this video, we're going to be reviving a tap that's dripping without replacing the whole tap. We're going to be isolating the supply, removing the top section of the tap, replacing the inside of the tap, replacing the top section of the tap, putting the supply back on and making sure that we leave it working and it's no longer leaking. We're going to be using a tap reviver kit. We bought this from Screwfix and it costs about £9. So it comes complete with tops for the taps and internal parts for the taps. All you need to do is replace these parts into the old tap. Let's have a look at how we do that. Under our sink, directly under the tap, we have a ball valve. If we turn that off, our tap is now isolated. Now we've isolated the tap, we should get nothing coming out of it. That's good. So the first thing we need to do is remove a little cover on the top. That pops off quite easily, and then there's a screw inside there. Sorry, that's it. Undo that screw and that top comes off. What we need to do now is remove the brass section. So first of all we can try, it should just unscrew, but you might find, like in this one, the tap seems to be moving a little bit, so it could be quite tight. Right, if that's the case, we need to get something on there to hold that tap steady. Now, I use mold grips, but the problem is if you push mold grips onto there really tight, then what will happen is they will actually damage or cut ridges into the side of the tap. So I find a little bit of a cloth on there, because we only want this for some more leverage. Pop that up. Now put the spanner on there, adjust it, there we go, and we've got something to lever against it now. So hopefully, there it goes, and that's already gone. That's it, done. We can now get rid of that, and that will now unscrew. So that's our inside part of the tap, and you can see the problem there is that the rubber has perished and it's flattened, so it's yeah, not very nice in there. So let's have a look in our Reviver tap kit. Our Reviver tap kit, it does on the box say it's a bath tap kit, but to be honest it does baths and sinks. I've never had a problem. It's got lots of adapters and things in there for different types of things, so I should imagine these might be more for a bath. We're only going to be using that, so this was a hot tap, so that's the one with the red. It should be the same thing. So it's exactly the same system again, so we have to pop the top off and take the screw, undo the screw inside, and then that leaves us with that. And as you can see, it's a lot better. The washer's in much better condition, the whole thing is much better. So we take that and we screw it back into our tap. Now we've got the new part now, we're going to screw that in. We've also identified that the ball valve down there is actually letting by a little bit. So maybe that's something that will need to be changed in the future. So what we're going to do is just pop that back in. Give that a little nick up. Right. And as you can see, the tap is dripping. That's because the ball valve's letting through. And we can now turn it off. So the tap is now off. Put that in the position that we want it in when the tap is off. So in line with the tap. Right. And then that will turn the tap on. As you can see, that ball valve is letting through there just a little bit. And that is off. And then that's the cold, which is turned off as well. Okay, now we need to get that screw back in there, which is a bit of a nuisance because what happens is you try and balance it and it's going to fall off. So a little trick, we can use a small bit of blue tack on the top of the screw. Put that in on the screwdriver, and that will hold it long enough just to guide that into the centre and do the screw up. And if you want to, you can take the blue tack out. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be hidden away. Our little red indicator which goes around the edge, and our shiny cap which goes at the top, clicks in. Right, what we're going to do now is turn the water back on. So we'll turn that back on, and then we can give the tap a test. Having reinstated the water supply, we can test our tap, and there we go, it comes on nicely and turns off now, which is what it wouldn't do before. It was running continuously, it wouldn't actually turn off. Our tap is repaired. And there we have it, another little repair done, a tap revived, repaired and ready for use. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.